Hey guys, welcome back. In this Blender video, we're going to model this mount shape. This is a really good shape to practice modeling and to learn new techniques while keeping proper topology. First, we'll model this using a cylinder, then we'll model the same shape using a cube, and we'll see which one works better. So, without wasting any time, let's jump right in. First, we'll add a cylinder. Alright, so starting with the cylinder, we'll model this shape the clean way first without using Booleans, and after that, we'll do the same thing using Booleans and knife cut, so we can clearly see the difference between the two approaches. So first, over here, select these side parts and delete them. So we can add a mirror modifier straight away, which makes it easier to work and keeps the model clean. Now choose the correct axis to mirror on and turn on clipping here, so the geometry stays locked and connected in the center. Now in the middle, let's add a cut. Right here in the center, let's delete this face so this part is open, as you can see in the reference. Delete the top face as well. Here, delete these faces so we can extrude the edge inwards. Now select this edge and extrude it inwards. It will clip in the middle because mirror clipping is turned on. Add two cuts here. Now select this edge and extrude inwards. Let's delete these faces. Now we'll make this part rounded, so select this edge and press Ctrl B to bevel it. Use the scroll wheel to add segments. And over here, turn on clamping. This limits the bevel so it doesn't go beyond the edge boundary. Adjust the segments so the spacing looks nicely square and even. Now, one step, we need to move this part up, so select these edges. Up here, turn on auto merge. This automatically merges vertices when they overlap. And set the snapping type to vertex so we can snap accurately to existing points. Now move this one step up and snap it into place. Press Ctrl while snapping. Now we'll fill this part, so to do that, select these edges and press F to fill. Now select this edge and keep pressing F until you reach this point. Here in the middle, add a cut, then move it forward and snap it here. Now select this vertex, move it only on the X and Y axis by pressing G, Shift Z, and snap it with the bottom vertex. Do the same step with all these vertices. Now select this edge and bevel it. In the bevel settings, change this to percentage, and then increase the bevel and make it 100%. Adjust the segments here. Over here, there are two edges, so here we'll add 3 cuts. Select this edge and fill this part like this. Select this vertex and slide it slightly. Now this part looks good. To space this part nicely, select these edges like this, and then use Loop Tool's space to space things evenly and make it look clean. Here, we'll fill this empty part like this. Okay, so over here, we'll do something is first select this edge, move it up, and snap it. Then let's extrude it down a little, and then press Shift R to repeat the extrusion. Now this part needs to be lower, so use Alt E to extrude along manifold and move it down. The manifold option will extrude it cleanly without breaking the shape. Then add a cut here and join this part. Here, delete these faces, so this part is open. Now to fill the inner part, select these faces over here. Duplicate them and move them out. Then press SX0 to flatten this part. Move it back and snap it into the inner position. Now select this edge and extrude it out. Here, delete these unnecessary floating edges. Now select the full mesh, press M and choose by distance to merge any overlapping vertices. Delete this extra part over here. Now we'll do this bottom part, so select this edge and extrude it out. Then press SX0 to flatten it. Now select this edge and extrude it out, and then press SY0 to flatten it. Next, select this edge, extrude it out, and snap it here. Then add 2 loop cuts. Now to make this part curved, first select this edge and then press Shift H. This will hide all the other parts, so only this edge stays visible. That way we can freely edit this edge without affecting the rest of the model. Now select this vertex, turn on proportional editing and set it to sharp. Then move this vertex back and use the scroll wheel to adjust the fall off, so this part becomes nicely curved. Now you can see, since the rest of the mesh is hidden, proportional editing affects only this edge. Now this is good. This part is a bit too out, so let's move it in slightly. Now select this edge and dissolve it. Then join this edge here and fix this part like this. Now this looks fine. Here, select this edge and use Loop Tool's space to space this nicely. Add a few loop cuts over here. Now select this side edge and then extrude it down. Now we'll add the hole over here, which you can see in the reference image. So select faces somewhere over here, insert them inwards, and then use Loop Tool's circle to make this perfectly circular. Adjust it so the circle fits nicely. And then delete the faces. Now, to fill the bottom part, select these top faces, duplicate them, move them down, and snap them into place. Select these edges, go over here, and choose Bridge Edge Loops. At the bottom, select this edge and extrude it down. Then add a few loop cuts here. Now we'll bevel all the sharp edges. So first, select the full mesh, press Shift-N to flip normals if needed, and apply the scale so everything behaves correctly. Here, add a cut, and then slide this vertex. Merge any overlapping vertices. Now select any sharp edge, and then go over here and choose Sharp Edges. This will select all the sharp edges. Here, you can tweak the sharpness angle to control how the edges are selected. Make sure all the edges that need to be sharp are selected correctly. And once that looks good, bevel the edges. Here, choose Arc. Set the shape value to 1. Here, switch it back to Offset and adjust the bevel again. Now join these edges on the arc parts. Add a subdivision surface modifier to smooth out the object and refine the shape. Also shade smooth the object so the surface looks clean shaded. And now you can see this part is nicely modeled. Now we'll model this again using the cylinder, but this time using the Boolean and knife tool method. We'll model only the top part because the bottom part is the same. So first, let's add a cylinder. Select the top face and bevel it to make this part curved. Here, set the shape value to 0.5 so it bevels curved and rounded instead of staying sharp. Now increase the segments to make the curve smoother and cleaner with nice square faces. Next, we'll add a Boolean to cut this part. So first, let's add a cube, scale it, and place it properly so it cuts the shape cleanly. Here, select the bottom part and snap it to this line. Now select the side part and move it so it lines up with this edge. For the top part, move it out of the object, then from the front and the back, scale this cube out. Now we'll add the Boolean to make the cut, but we'll use the Bool tool add-on for this. First, select the object we will use to cut, then select the object to be cut. You can find the Bool tool options here on the side, but to access it faster, press Ctrl-Shift-B. This opens the Bool tool menu, and here choose Difference. If you don't see this tool, go to Preferences, then Add-ons, and enable Bool tool. This is the Boolean method, and it works well for cutting shapes. We've cut the object using the Boolean. You can apply the Boolean and clean it up later, but we can also do this faster using the knife tool, so we won't apply the Boolean modifier. Switch to Front View, and in Edit mode, switch to Wireframe mode. Press K for the knife tool, and click on the vertex where you want the cut to start. Now move the knife upward. Press Z to keep the cut straight along the Z-axis, and click to confirm. And you can see the cut is made cleanly and straight. Now we can select and delete these faces over here. The side part we can also delete, so we can add a mirror modifier and mirror the shape cleanly. We can delete these inner part faces. And now you can see we can extrude this part inwards. But before that, we need to fix this part first. Now, to clean this part, we can select these vertices like this and merge them at the center. Then select the full edge loop and use Loop Tools space to space it nicely. To fix this part, we can select and join these edges like this. These vertices here, we can merge them so everything connects properly. Now you can see we have all quads in this area, which is better for clean topology. These vertices are uneven, so select these vertices and space them out. Right now this part looks messy and uneven, so select all these edges and use Loop Tools space. This spaces them evenly, so this part looks clean and smooth. For a few vertices, select them and slide them slightly to adjust the spacing. Then select and space this part to even everything out nicely. And now this part is nicely fixed. Now you can select this edge and extrude it inwards just like we did before. Here we can add a mirror modifier to mirror the shape. Here add 2 loop cuts and fill this part. The rest of the steps in the bottom part are the same as how we did earlier. So now let's see how we can do this using the cube. Okay, so first we'll add a cube. Now go over here and add a subdivision modifier to smooth out the mesh. Increase the level to 3, which will turn this cube into a nice sphere shape. Here add a cast modifier. Then set the factor to 1. What this will do is convert this into an exact sphere, and then we can apply the modifier. But if you don't want to do all these things, you can actually just use a rounded cube, which already comes built in. It saves a lot of time and makes things easier. Once you add it, you'll see it has a lot of settings, and you can tweak these however you want to quickly adjust the shape and get the look you need. To see all these extra mesh options, though, you'll first need to activate the add-on. So go to Preferences, then Add-ons, and enable extra mesh objects. Once that's enabled, you'll have access to these extra shapes right away, and it makes modeling like this much faster and smoother. Now here, select the bottom part and then delete it. Then select the bottom edge and extrude it slightly out. Now we'll add a mirror modifier, so go to Top View and select the side parts and delete them. Then add the mirror modifier. Choose the axis and also enable clipping. Now here we can delete this full inner part. Then select this edge and extrude it inwards. But if we look from the front view, this edge line is not completely straight. If we select this vertex and do cursor to selected, then select this full edge and change the pivot point to 3D cursor, and then do SX0 to flatten it. Here you can see the result is not good. There is a slight bend on the curve, so we will not do it this way. Instead, we can use the knife tool method. So with the knife tool, from this point, cut straight, just like we did before. Then we can select and delete this side part that we don't want, and now you can see this is done. Now we can select this edge and extrude it inwards. Then add 2 loop cuts and then fill this part, and now this is done. The rest of the bottom parts are the same as how we did before. Here we can just space these edges. This vertex we can slide slightly like this, and now this is done, as you can see. Alright, so we're done modeling this shape, and as you saw, we tried a few different methods to model and achieve the same shape. Some methods are faster, some give you cleaner control, so let me know which one you liked more. And if you have a better or different method, feel free to share it in the comments. In the next video, we'll model this shape, so stay tuned for that. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, comment down below and give your feedback. Thanks for watching, and I'll meet you in the next one.